Hello, this is James Lopes with the Rise Star Church, Evening the World Out in Love. The name of this one is called Political Confusion. I'm going to be getting into some real technical stuff. It's really concerning the laws. I'm going to have two different ones. It's going to be one about the laws, and this one, the counterbalance to the political confusion. First of all, you have to realize where we've been at, which is, I've already explained very thoroughly in the writ, which is basically um, treating everybody like a 12-year-old. And really the old Masonic views of dividing the goats from the sheep. And really, I explain it as like a 6th-hour priest doing a sacrifice, projecting crime, more like extortion to the regular populace by scaring them on TV about the news and such, rumors of war, and scaring them into the churches as a little conformity thing, as those lambs, and then putting the goats that fall for their little games and tricks into the jails and prisons. And so uh, this is where we're at. And of course, what I said, what we're going to do, and really the future of it is we're gonna. It's really all about the veil. We gotta look at it like here's a dirty, filthy river. It's in there. It talks about a wall with the abominations in the wall, and it's kind of like a projection and how it is. But really, it's just for the veiling to scare the kids home with the parents until they're mature enough to develop a foundation, till they get from forness, till um, they get values and their traditions and morals set. And then it's, well, we have this, instead of criminal justice system, which is really just for kids as presented in there, we have more of the candlestick justice game reserve entertainment with veiled channeling and buy into sin offerings, which are the projection process, and the ones that they justify to control just the unmorally sound or the immature until they thoroughly understand what it's all for, which is salvation and edification and love, of course. So, um, so we have to do a little counterbalance, especially since the people of this country that are working with the laws, they've wanted to keep everybody blind to the law so they can manipulate people underneath the law. And I talk about it as kind of like a grate, or like a fence, or something that pushes down on a person. Uh, I compared in the scriptures the netting around the altar, but it pushes down to conform and stop somebody from getting in. But it's set up in a business format, and then controlling and keeping everybody above or below 12. And so, but there's supposed to be a star rising aspect, really do. Another thing that I promote is the Constitution of the United States, and then there's state constitutions. About 60 years ago, they came up with those. Well, each organization in our community is coming up with their own different aspect of, and this is why it's very important, because you're either going to work with the government or you're going to work with a church organization that understands, or at least some kind of organization understands the aspects of righteousness, the reasons to edify, reasons to kind of, and I'll get into some other further lessons that will really explain this a little better. But as the scripture states, the righteousness is at war with the law, and after all, it is just judgment, which is so. That's why, as you read the Rise Star Church Constitutional Writ, that is the social well of freedom. That is the really only one place we can have uh, this type of thing, and it would be where the knowledge came from, because you can't really have free for all concerning how use and abuse goes concerning these matters. And it'll be the same thing with other organizations uh, concerning their different fortes, you could say. Uh, Everybody, technically, you already have your own, I call it personal constitutional writ, and that was all the paper trail you've ever had of jobs and schoolings and criminal records. These are the things that are kind of defining you on paper. And so that's what we're getting into. And what I like to talk about in communities that I go to is a wouldn't it be nice to have a website? That's what the Salvation Works page is all about. It's just kind of like a format. I'm just going through these cities. It's not my city, their city. But I talk to them about it, and that's another little demonic seed that's thrown out in society. Oh, says somebody else has it under control. No, we the people, you the government. That's what we're doing. We're going to make sure that we're part of all that goes on in our government bodies. Uh, but wouldn't it be nice to have a website that has all the organizations in a community, in your community, and how they're getting involved with people in the community, from the drunkard to the transient, uh, anybody, of getting them involved with other people in the community, how they can help. And according to Rise Star Writ, as you can tell, it pretty much does. It's anybody in their position already. They just don't really know how to apply it. They haven't got that information suppressed. Um, but I've been talking about it for about a year, and obviously the dictating class of specific organizations that don't want transparency. They want to do things behind the back. They want other people getting involved. It is happening, uh, or it would have been more. It creates transparency. We know what every organization is doing. If we don't know what they're doing, there's something wrong. It kind of gives, and like it says in the Salvation Works page, it gives a little aspect for other ones to get involved. Now they have a foundation, a site to run from. They have other techniques and top things, how other organizations are using things to get people involved, to get people off. That star rising, that purpose, only God made them for others. And so it creates transparency, and it gives the foundation for honest starts. Really, we're getting the evenness through. Uh, so, um, and I'm going to get more into the law aspect of things because I cause myself a little bit more time at times. But of course, I have some work that I do in there, and it's increasing ever more. So, but if you haven't noticed, there's different times I've been stuck in a different city for a little bit, and this is because I was in jail. Different lower misdemeanor things. They love pushing people around with those. They accept pleas easier, and I'll get into that later with the law portion. Uh, but basically for three reasons. At first, it was kind of a deterrent, which is why I presented all the thing in there, how the Masonic aspect and the candlesticks are manipulating dorm atmospheres, getting people to pay money into the system or plea bargain out. Then it kind of turned into the other reason they kind of want to see how I'm going to organize and do something in there. Of course, I always tell people, well, if you can figure out exactly what someone would use you for, then you can not use it if they don't go along right. And that's what the end little portion of this is going to be about, because the lately thing that they've been doing is then they instantly arrest me when I'm leaving a city because I went through no faithful. I can tell there's no face. What business? What offering? I say, what problem? You silent with no face? So am I. And so any which way, um, about to leave, and it makes perfect sense because here we are, the social well of freedom. Been going for about 8 years. many marriages, people meeting each other, not organized relationships with little tunnels going through as much around the social well of freedom. But what happens, well, there's us, and then we even have to boot all the other um, ones totally against stopping the well. They want to control and dictate people. You know, they don't think you're smart enough, I guess. So we have both parties really showing up, especially like some organizations. I would hate to say to some churches, it's like, okay, your job's imprisonment. Did you not get the scripture of set the captives free part? You're lost, I think. But that's all right. I'm working on an entrapment for them. But any which way, with all that, what we're doing is we're paying for hotel rooms, we're paying for restaurants, we're paying for food, we're buying things with all the kids and the regular um, offerings and just businesses that we do business at. We're creating revenue for these cities, and they're being disobedient to a well of freedom for we the people, Americans. So what we need to do to counterbalance this thing, when I'm in jail, if they try different things, I'm going to be in there, and I'll explain that in the law portion, between 2 weeks to a month and a half. It's really impressive, like Arkansas. By the way, I'm going to be going around. We're going to go around the outside. We'll let the locals of the not dictator crew come on out to the well of freedom. But we're going to be going around Nevada. We're going to go around Arkansas, Indiana, Florida, Alabama, and maybe Mississippi here real soon. They don't even let a person walk around out in this place. Let's see what the next bigger city has in store. Fayetteville or something. So if something happens, it's stuck on a page, and where's the offering? All you can do blind first aid, fatal battle, anywhere in the world. You don't need Rise Star Church for this main priest for the legality aspects of it. Now, you definitely can't do it when they're oppressing, but I don't waste time. I'll definitely duplicate. But any which way, get out of state. Contribute nothing to these oppressive states. We're in the book of Acts. We're going through, we're setting up what cities want our blessings. All the rest can stay in their box. All the oppressed and tied. Set a little lure on out. Go set up, I'll usually have a direction. Go set up in the city ahead, the state ahead, the city, and practice your stuff there. Get some people to go through. And we want to promote it well anyway. If it was like this last one, where there was a little screen of visiting on the inside, I get like 2 to 15 offerings a day. Come on, ladies, just come say hi. I'll say hi. We'll nonchalantly introduce you to the dorm people. Be coming on out. Any which way. Need you to start thinking ahead on these things, not letting these games manipulate these controls. And plain and simple, we offer the blessings. They don't want to bless, get blessings. It's vampirism. They've been trying to steal blessings for a long time. It's not really working very well for them. So, God bless. And keep looking at the website. If I don't have a specific city on there, then I'm hanging out, doing videos instead of creating a social well of freedom for oppressive city. God bless.